Live from the CPT, it's the D Smooth Show. Welcome to my party, let's get things straight. I'm D Smooth, no time to hesitate. 30 minutes of fun, that's what we have time for. Close all the windows, lock all the doors. Oh yeah, I'm on my entourage. What time is it? Espionage. We get the job done like a handyman. Jump start a party, never tardy, that's the plan. And here he is, the dashing, the debonair, and distinguishing Smooth.
What's going on, fam? Happy Wednesday to you. Another installment of Man in the Mirror, where we take an in-depth look at ourselves, being honest, and we share our thoughts, and we hope to assist somebody in growing ourselves. I do have a great guest this afternoon, and we'll get with him just a bit later on. I do appreciate everyone actually tapping into the show. A couple of things I observed. I don't know if anybody's watching the NBA playoffs. It's exciting. I am an NBA fan, and not to see the Lakers there is a little strange. However, it is exciting. Some things I thought about. I was checking out a friend of mine's page, and he's always a positive force, should I say. And that's what I'll say. He's a positive force. And his name is Herbert Billinger. He quotes a lot of people. However, he has thoughts himself that really help me grow. Such as, we can real soon, when you're ready for it, when God knows you're ready for it, we go from overlooked to overbooked. From overlooked to overbooked. So I look forward to that in my life and the people that surround me and the people that inspire me. I pray for growth in that. The road to success is always under construction. I'll say it again. The road to success is always under construction. Might be a few detours, a few extra stop signs, but we're still moving forward. Before I introduce my co-host, I just thought about something. Why do black folks buy 2 tires at a time? I'm just asking. Instead of buying the whole set, and I don't think it's a financial thing, but I think it's maybe we don't want to spend the additional couple of $100s on 4 tires, so we'll put 2 tires on the front and move the front to the back. Just a thought. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I like to start the show out by introducing the some, presenting the others. My co-host, Mr. Herbert Billinger. And there he's in there. Herbert, how are you, sir?
Yes, sir. I am here. What's up? What's cracking?
Oh, man, I'm great. I'm having a wonderful Wednesday. How's your day going?
It's going great. I can't complain.
That's awesome, man. As I was mentioning to the audience, that you're a guy that inspires me. You're a guy that doesn't put extra mayonnaise on the sandwich. It just be dry as hell, just right to the point and everything, man. You have some things you'd like to share with the listeners today, sir?
One of the things I'll start off is this really a story about the power of words. And as men, the power of our words. I was having this conversation with my daughters and my wife over the past couple of weeks of some things that I've said to them in the past, and it really stuck with them. And sometimes there were some triggers that would happen in their life that would bring up those feelings, and they didn't feel really good about it. And so I came up with this thing which is true to me, is besides God, for a woman or a girl, the most powerful voice that they have on this earth is their father. Yes. Absent of a father, it is a husband that they respect, or another man that is down with them, that has their back, that supports them. and doesn't judge them. And so before we get into the show, I just really want, the listeners to imagine a time of the course of their life, or some things that they've done that they're not so proud of, things that they wish they could have a do-over or do different. The things that before they became Christians, if they are Christians, imagining themselves walking down the aisle to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and the burdens that they were carrying, and imagining those burdens, needing those burdens to be lifted. It was the reason why they were walking down that aisle. And so with that, that's the backdrop. That's my little spill before we get into your hot topic today. But I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna be coming in hot.
And I hope you do. Actually, I have 4 beautiful daughters. I don't have any sons. I have all daughters. So I think my respect level is very high, and I'm proud of it. The day before yesterday, I was in a public place, and there was a lady, and as I stepped in the door, she was right in front of me, but her dress was tucked in the back. If I don't have to go into detail behind anything else, her dress was tucked in the back, but it was a place full of people and men, and I'm standing there, and I sort of sidestepped her and said, "Hey, your dress is mismanaged," or however I worded it. You need to adjust your dress. So she looked at me crazy, and I left it alone. And all the men stepping in, everybody stepping in, and they're looking at her with her dress tucked in her behind. But I really tried to address it. And finally, another lady came up to her and said it, and she adjusted it. Right after she adjusted it, she looked at me in the eye, because I didn't say it I didn't look at it in an what should I say? She looked at it in a negative way. Maybe I was trying to talk to her, maybe I didn't word it right or whatever. But after she adjusted her clothing, she looked directly at me. I looked down to the ground. I'm like, that's what it is. We have a killer topic, and the topic today.
Hey, before you go on, I just got a notification that recording had stopped.
I saw the very same thing, Herbert. We are live on YouTube, so we'll go forward.
Okay, perfect. All right. Cool.
And I thank you for the notification on that. I did see that also. Our topic for the day: are we allowing our women to be exploited on social media? And I'll say it again. Are we allowing our women to be exploited on social media? Before you even tap in, Herbert, I got to bring in a cat. I've got to bring in a guy that's another inspiration to me, another plateau that I'm climbing. This guy has taught me a lot of technical things in presentation, in live performances, even through social media, and helping me build my studio. Some know him as the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Some folks know him like that. I know him as my pal, my buddy, the cat from Eve After Dark, Lonzo Williams. Here he's coming in here to the set with us.
What up, folks?
All right, Lonzo, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Just hanging out, doing what I do. You know how we do it.
That's good. Herbert mentioned to me that he met you years ago, and you invited him to the Eve After Dark. Herbert, come on, share a minute with us on your introduction to Lonzo Williams.
I was working, he actually introduced himself, right? So I was working at Security Pacific Bank on Rosecrans and Central, and he came in to make a deposit, and he was just telling me about this club. I think I remember him driving away in a black Porsche, but he was like, hey, he was like,
the RX-7.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. But it was black. I remember that, right?
It was.
And so he invited me out, and there was just no really safe place to party. And so I went into the Eve, man, and fell in love with it. I mean, I found myself at the Eve every Saturday night. So it was the hottest spot if you were under 21, looking for a place just to get your party on and to have some fun off of Avalon, that El Segundo and Avalon. That was just a spot, you know, and the little jingle was, hey, we rock at the disco, we freak at the park. We rock at LA's hottest spot. It's called the Eve After Dark.
I forgot that one, Doc. I forgot that one, but now I'm glad you reminded me of that one.
You're gonna have to revise that one, Lonzo.
Let's bring that one back, Doc. You're right.
That was a great spot, because actually one of my first partying spots was the Eve After Dark and everything. And I wanted to say this: that location has been around for so many years, because when I was a teenager, and I say a young teen, my parents were going to that spot.
Now they were going downstairs to Jeffrey's, most likely.
And no, I'm gonna back it up some more. They were up top. It was called Room at the Top.
Okay.
Now look, it was called Room at the Top. Now I can't really remember what year it was or whatever, but this is where grown folks, when, you know, my daddy was an OG, you know, and mom and daddy would dress. I probably was 12 or something like that. I really think I'm thinking back that far. And they would go to Room at the Top, and it just amazed me when I was finally able to get in there. Of course, the name had changed. I just had to get in there because my parents enjoyed themselves so much there. So Jeffy's Room After Dark, Room at the Top, Eve After Dark. What was another name, Lonzo?
Loft, the studio.
The Loft.
Boom Boom Room, Penthouse. You name it, I ran them all.
You name it. Hey, before we get into the show real quick, gotta ask you about your actual response when Dre dropped that halftime show and we saw Eve After Dark, we saw Tam's Burgers, and we saw the city of Compton on top of the world at that time. You were a part of that, Zoe. How do you feel about that? How'd you like that?
I was blown away like everybody else was. I was actually at the Super Bowl, and I was sitting there watching the screen, and I said, "Oh my God, this motherfucker did it!" I'm sitting there, man, like, "Damn, dude, you got me on that one right there, boy."
That's it.
For the next 2 or 3 days, my whole life just changed, man. Everybody had stuck a camera in my face and the whole 9 yards. And in fact, that whole movement inspired me to create a documentary. And I got to get my man Herbert in, man, because Herbert, you dropped some stuff that I forgot about, man. And it's amazing, dude. That was 40 years ago, man. And
that's right.
One of the girls from Eve After Dark, Velvet, she brought me the original Eve After Dark Wrecking Crew jacket. She still got hers. I forgot all about them jackets, man. I forgot all about them.
Can you fit it? Can you fit it?
No, I can't fit it. She can fit hers. I ain't seen mine. I ain't know what mine is. She brought me hers, and dude, I'm having a whole little embroidery thing we done right now, and I might have to put that on the. I'm going to put that on, make that available, because it just brought back so many memories. It just was ridiculous, dude. So like, yeah, the Eve After Dark documentary is coming, and Herbert, I'm giving you an open invitation to be a part of that doc if you're interested.
Hey, I welcome it, man. It was definitely a big part of me growing up. So I'm honored that you would even allow me to want to speak on it.
Come on, Doc. I share the story with everybody, man. I am not selfish when it comes to sharing the history of Compton. That's what I've done all my life, and I'd love to have you a part of it.
All right, thank you. Be glad to do it.
I'll get your number when we wrap the show up.
All right, awesome.
Hey, Lonzo. Now you're doing a couple of different shows right now. My favorite, yours, and is it Dusty Vision? Dusty Vision. And what's the name of that show?
NWA Stories with Lonzo.
Man, and I catch that, and you do that once a week. Am I correct, sir?
Every Tuesday from 6 to 7 o'clock. 6 to 7 every Tuesday.
And I've watched, and you've had superstars on there. Curtis Blow was one of my favorite interviews. You also had Dr. Dre, East Coast Dr. Dre, should I say, and a lot of interesting folks, including some of the original members. And I'll say DJ Yella, those folks, and from our side of town, and that was the world-class Wrecking Crew.
Yes, sir.
Man, those are interesting. Again, so we're doing stories of NWA. Am I correct, sir?
NWA stories with Lonzo.
Yeah.
I was doing that show twice a week, but now on Thursdays, Dr. East Coast Dre and I are doing another show called Legendary Connects, and we talk about hip hop issues from a legendary standpoint. Because our viewpoint's a lot different from the kids. You know, being that we're grown men and been through some things, we realize that the perspective that these youngsters have has nothing to do with reality or life as we know it. It's just the illusion of what they want to believe that the world is all about. So Dre and I, he has an East Coast version, his East Coast opinions. I have my West Coast opinions. And he and I started talking, man, a couple of years ago, and it led up to this right here. So we're starting to bring some different guests into the show. But for the last couple of shows, he and I have just been laying it down. We also have a co-host, Miss Bernadette, and she's in Mississippi completely. She's in Mississippi. So we sitting there we got three different
areas
from three different areas. So it just works out real well, Doc.
That's beautiful. Also, I saw something that I think you had him on your show, and it was a WrestleMania.
Yeah, Compton Mania.
I saw that, Compton Mania. So we have some wild, mad wrestlers that come into the city, and they're in a ring, Herbert. They real with it. Man, they will snap me in half. So I'm gonna watch from the internet.
One of my youngsters I ran into, man. I met him someplace. Told me what he was doing. I'm like, you doing a wrestling thing? And I also have a television channel called the Homegrown Media Network on Roku. Y'all can download it. I'd appreciate it if you do, and check out some of his shows. And I'm like, you got a wrestling show? He said, yeah, man, I do this. Blah. He told me the story. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna come by and check you out. I did, man. Homeboy had a ring. He got wrestlers. He got the announcers, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like, dude, if you got doing that, I'm gonna support it. So I did an interview with him and some of his people the other day. I went to a show Saturday in Compton in somebody's backyard, ring the whole 9 yards in the backyard. And they're doing a big show on the May 14th in Compton as well, right off of Wilmington and Rosecrans. And
that's by my house.
It's going down May 14th, but that show also will be replayed on my channel, the Homegrown Media Network.
Man, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. I tell you what, we're at halftime of the show, gentlemen. And what I always do is support people who actually support me.
I was looking for a good cleaning service.
Forgive me. And I always support people who support me. And this company, it's called Ezra's Environmental Clean. Ezra's Environmental Cleaning. And they're off the chain. They are here local, and they come to your place of business, home, or school and actually do an excellent job. They're not a maid service. They're an actual cleaning environmental service. So it's deep cleaning. It's not just wiping off your cabinets or whatever the case may be. These people are great. And again, I call them, and I'm trying to get up on the screen, forgive me. They are called Ezra's Environmental Clean, and see if we can get them live right here, gentlemen. Let's see if we can get them live. Forgive me. Let's see, get that. And here they are, Ezra's Environmental Clean.
Hello, I was looking for a good cleaning service. Can I ask you a couple of questions? Can you clean my garage? Can you steam my carpets? Can you work really fast? Do you provide your own cleaning supplies? Can you work around my schedule? Do you screen your workers? Can you clean my business too?
Okay, I don't need my husband anymore.
That's my folks, y'all. Ezra Enviro Clean. You got to remember them. Check them out. I do support them. And I'm looking for sponsors. So if anybody's out there looking to be a possible sponsor and promote your business, your ideas, your events, D Smooth's the guy. We can actually create a nice jingle for you and really have something going on. Herbert, what's new with you? And I haven't asked you that.
One just celebrated a birthday, right? So I'm still continuing doing my coaching, and still, working on my podcast called Beauty is Skin Deep, Uglies to the Bone.
Yeah. I love that. Say that title again.
Beauty is Skin Deep, but Uglies to the Bone.
To the bone.
Oh.
Go ahead. How so wait, I can't even ask how ugly it gets because it's to the bone, huh?
Well, when you think about, I think it goes into this topic that we're talking about today, right? So there's things that just, and Lonzo was talking about this too, is that stuff just happens to us in life. We've been through some things in life. And sometimes those things in life, we internalize those things and it creates this dark space in us.
Yes.
And what actually comes out is not what we intend to come out, and it may not be what we want it to come out, and it may be ugly sometimes. But so how do you not let the things that happen to you, how do you, even if you're victimized, how do you not become a victim? I mean, how do you rise above that?
That's deep, man. That's really deep. And your contact information, before going further, share with our viewers your contact information, Herbert.
Well, so I got a coach, right? So you can start off by saying that it's actually Herb B Jr. So HERB, another B, JR, at igotacoach.net. So IGOTTA coach.net.
That's great. And Godfather, you probably got 13, 14 avenues on them contacting you, but share your immediate information where folks can contact you, sir.
I got a number I use, 424-256-9211, 242-256-9211. It's going to answer right here. I'm good to go.
All right. It's the D Smooth Show. We are hosting Man in the Mirror with my guy, Lonzo Williams, my co-host, great guy, Mr. Herbert Billinger. He's just crossed the line. He just turned 60 last week. So Zoe trying to catch us, but he can't catch us. He ain't gonna catch us. Hey, the topic of the day, are we allowing our women to be exploited on social media? I'm going to start this off, okay? Because it might get a lot of mixed reviews from each of you and even the viewers. Social media, I think, has enslaved a lot of our Black women. And I say that in a manner, I think women are really loving the hits and the attention that's given when you're on the internet. And as I mentioned to Herbert earlier, Lonzo, you can look at someone's profile on TikTok, and if you go back to their very first few videos, they're saying hi and showing the kids and playing with the dog, and you go into 30, 40 videos deep. Now it's bathing suit time. It's shake it time, and thousands of views and likes. I think it tantalizes them to where, hey, I can do more. I got more people looking at me. I got more people liking me. Me, as a father of 4 women, they're all women now, of 4 women, it hurts me to a point to where's the love of women? Where's the love of Black women without exposing yourself? There's many positive Black women that own businesses, many positive Black women that help other women, many Black women that are out there with positive views and movements that would allow other young women to come aboard. But there's so much trash through the internet right now. And that's my thought on it. How do you think women feel about that? I'll go right to you, Lonzo. How do you think a lot of women feel about this exploitation? And I'll say exploitation.
Well, you know what, Doc? You're talking to a brother who ran a male strip club for years. And I've come to the conclusion through my experience that women are more competitive than men ever are. Women compete with other women like men never do. I mean, eyelashes, hair, some of the nails you see, that ain't for us. That's to sheen on other women. That's to make other women feel some kind of way. The purses, I don't care what's in your purse. If you ain't paying for the meal, what difference do it make how much your bag costs?
Yes.
Like I said, a brother told us, said it on Facebook. Man, I ain't never known a brother say, oh man, baby girl, she'll be fine. She has some longer eyelashes. We don't care about that. We don't. Our baby show would be fine if her hair was down to her knees. We don't care about that. But that's something that they put a value on. And sometimes it look good, sometimes it's enhancing, but a lot of times it's over the top and we don't care. In fact, sometimes we laughing, man. We laughing. But the circle that they run with, because women are very supportive of each other. And if it's done right, whether it looks good or not, for the most part, they will support each other in that situation. Whereas you or I'm like, dude, where you going with that purple hair, man? Why you got purple hair? Okay?
Right.
We clown each other. Dude, the nails ain't working. Okay? We'll say that kind of stuff, but women, they're very forgiving. And it's just like with your girl Lizzo. I like her as an artist, but people are misleading her into thinking that being that obese at her age is healthy, and it's okay. It may be okay, but it ain't healthy. And that's the byproduct of what we're dealing with. A lot of things that we're seeing in society, they say it's okay, but you wonder why you can't get a man. Okay, nobody wants a woman that's been all over Facebook. Everybody just seeing your girl naked.
It's almost like everybody has already touched your woman.
Everybody has been there. We feel like it's been violated. Yes, it's one thing to look at strippers, but another thing to marry one. If you got a woman that's on Facebook, just constantly on Facebook with your duck lips and constantly got to get attention from other men, is it really something that you want in your life?
It is not. I can say it is not.
I've been involved with insecure women before, dude. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Trust me, I've been there.
Hey, Herbert, do you think we can turn this around in a manner? You know where we're sitting in 2022, where we're sitting, and I'll say it again, my thoughts of exploitation of Black women on the internet. How do we turn this around?
First, I think that it's kind of hard for me to separate. This is not just exclusive to women, right? So this is men too. But it's hard for me to separate talking about this from the man that I am and the Christian that I am. I just think that this is a form of sexual immorality, and all sin started in the Garden of Eden. But I think it first starts off not judging, right? I think that social media has become a way, and the internet, for people to monetize what they're doing. And I think everybody has a story and a journey, man, of how they got started. They ended up falling in love with the money. And in some cases, it leads to bigger issues with drug and alcohol use, because now I need to find a way to numb what I'm doing. I think that a woman's most precious possession is her body. And it's hard for me to understand the mental turmoil that she'll go through to make a decision to decide to use her body to provide for her family. But I think we started off this conversation. I think we started off this topic talking about the power of men and their voice. And in a woman and a girl's life, the most powerful is their father. And absent of that father is another man that they respect. And I think that we just got to be careful about how we approach this, because everybody has a story and a journey and why they're there. Yes. Lonzo pointed out many reasons and the whys. It could be a self-esteem problem. It could be, hey, I'm trying to get a bunch of likes, but at the root, there's something deeper that I think that we have to have a conversation about.
That's a hot point that you mentioned. And I think Lonzo actually answered this question, but I'll answer it again. And this is an honest show. We got to be honest. We honest hoes, okay? Who said like Della Reese said in what is it? Nights. Exactly. We honest hoes, and all my hoes are honest. But would you be comfortable having your significant other exploit her body? And I won't say to the max what they're saying, exploit herself on social media. Someone that you're dating. Let's put it like that. Someone that you're dating, you didn't know their social media contact, and you met her, now you're dating, now you're enjoying her, and you run across this exploited picture. How would you address it, Zoe?
Probably be out, Doc. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think I'd probably be out because at some point in time, it's like I tell women all the time, when you cast that net to get attention and you draw that net back in, it's like going fishing in the ocean. You don't know what's going to come in. Okay. So you not only putting yourself in a situation that you can be in an unnecessary entanglement, but you also put me out there too. And I don't need the extra headache. Okay. If you're that insecure where you need attention from other men other than me, go ahead and do your thing, baby. That's all.
You got it. Herbert, hit you with the same question.
Well, I think the obvious answer to that question is no, I wouldn't be happy about it. Okay, so I'll just take the story. What if my daughter was a porn star? And, could I influence her or stop her from being a porn star? I think it would be the most unlikely thing that I would like, oh man, it would just pretty much blow me away of what encouraged her. How did we get there? But I think that what she would need is grace, mercy, protection, and forgiveness. Again, I just think that what we see is the output of what people do in their lives.
Yes.
What we don't see is how they got started. It's almost like somebody being on the street. I had this guy that I ran into in San Francisco, and I think I shared this story with you before, and he was asking me for $5. So I gave him $5, but he wanted me to hear his story about how he became homeless. There was this thing about being Black. There was this thing about being proud. There was this thing about, hey, I didn't intend for my life to turn out this way, but let me just share with you what happened to me.
Yes.
And I just think no matter who people are, you, me, Zoe, Lonzo, how we think about this life, some people's lives just got out of control and they didn't intend for it to be that way, or they did, right? Some people intended for their life to turn out that way. But then sometimes we suffer the consequences of sowing bad seed. But I'm careful with having the opinion that I have without coming across that I'm judged, because I was telling my nieces think that I'm this dude that sits on a pedestal. But if they, would see those tapes from me at the Eve After Dark, and those other things that I've done in life, and you play those tapes in life, and they would like, well, uncle, or wow, I can't believe you done that, right? I think it comes to a point where everybody got to decide that they want to do something different and better in their life. But we live in a free world, man. God is a free will God.
Yes. And
we live in a free world where people can decide for them what's best for them, even though we may feel a little bit different about
it. And that's it. And it's everybody's opinion on it. I'm not stepping on anybody doing anything, because my background goes further than Eve After Dark, big time. Okay. And if we start playing those tapes, I don't think anybody would like me. I don't think I would like myself if I backed up on a lot of things I did in life. So hopefully, these exploitations that we see, I hope the individuals grow from it, men and women. I hope they grow from it, realize this is not something that I'm really proud of. I don't, like you said, some people were like, hey, I can't wait to get 1 million hits on Shaking My Behind, and then some people may look back on it. Go ahead, Zoe.
No, I just think it's, back in the day, man, I was talking to some brothers recently about things we experienced back in the day. There was a stigma that was attached to certain things that women did. And after gangster rap became so popular, somebody had to come up with some way for women to take part in that exploitation. And I think when the strip culture became the new way of female music, introductions to female music careers, with acts like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, that put them on that path. Okay, if I can get this many followers, I could probably make this. And a lot of women make a living doing just that. Yes, they make a good living, and but you got consequences though, and the consequences are if you got a son that has a coach or a pastor or some bishops or something that happened to run across your mama, okay, on TikTok or Facebook doing the booty pose. It's like, hey, what's up, sister so-and-so? I got to tell this story, man. I tell this story all the time. And I'm going to share it with y'all right quick. I know we got limited time. But my mom died when she was 47 years old, okay? But when I was 19, when I was about 13, I was walking down the street, guy smoking cigarettes. I went home smelling like cigarette smoke. My mama took me back up the street and she read them guys to riot at. Miss Williams, oh, yes, Miss Williams. Yes, Miss Williams. Yes, Miss Williams. If you see him coming down here, and y'all smoking cigarettes, y'all run him off. Now, based on the math, my mama was about 40 or 41 when that happened. Okay? When you think about that, you think about the moms of today at 40, 41, they're a lot different, okay?
Very much so. Them
same homies probably may be in the pad kick. Mom still may be doing her thing, but I don't know. But it has an effect on how a young man and a young girl looks at their mom and their parents, okay? So if mama says it's okay to smoke weed at the house or do this at the house, it's gonna be okay for me to do it. Or I can't do it, you're a hypocrite. Okay? So if you're not leading by example, okay, one of the people, I get clowned all the time, man, because when NWA, Dre, Yella, Cube, and Easy and them formed NWA in my living room, I chose not to be a part of that. Okay. Yes. And at that time, my oldest daughter, who's 46 now, was 11. I could not be a part of something that portrayed bitches and hoes. I couldn't do that. Yeah. She's always been a daddy's girl. I couldn't do anything to make her look at me any other way than her dad, the apple of her eye. Okay, we laugh about that now. I could have used some of that money. Yeah, but you're a much better person. A master's degree, doing great, 3 kids of her own, and she understood that sacrifice. But a lot of people don't understand the financial sacrifice it takes sometimes to have a decent family. I got 3 daughters. Thank God, ain't nobody been on the pole. I did my job, Chris Rock. I did my job. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've worked with other men's daughters who've been on the pole, and sometimes it's a hard thing to do, man. For like me, I'm not a pastor, but I'm a Catholic school kid. I got a different hard drive in my system, operating system. I don't operate on certain things that don't work for me. That's just Lonzo. I can't help it.
Yeah. You know, I put it in the mindset, Herbert. Well, put it in the same bowl as which I never was. I was never a drug dealer. I'm proud to say I'm a former drug user. I'm 40 years clean with that. But, you know, think about all the drug dealers throughout the years. And, you know, they were coming up at that time hard. And I was like, you know, I was in the mix of things. I had a choice of either being a dealer or a user. And I ended up becoming a user. But what I'm saying is, to this day, say somebody who was dealing drugs 30, 40 years ago, are they proud to let their grandkids know that they sold drugs throughout the neighborhood, that they, you know, that they was just roughhouse and everything, you know, running over everything?
Hey, D, check this out. When you look at certain television shows, that's all they promote, man. How gangster they was back in the 80s and 90s. You got television shows right now that pay homage to all of that, dude. They pay homage to all that. How much work you put in? Yeah. How much work you put in? How much money you made back in the day? The cars you had, the Rolexes, and most of them folks don't have nothing to show for today, man. Unfortunately, most of them folks don't have much. You know, without those shows, dude, they're not getting it like they used to. And I'm not judging nobody, but it is what it is.
Hey, just two things. One is, since we all grew up in Compton, I think sometimes we're just products of our environment, right? What one person would consider, you know, getting respect, and, you know, there's a song out, put some respect on my name. You know, people are trying to do that, and they're trying to find ways to do that every day. And the other thing that I would just say is that, you know, that we also have to talk about, if a girl has an OnlyFans page, I would probably say there was probably some women that are subscribers, but most of them are men.
Agreed. Very much agreed.
Right.
So we're feeding the beast, is what you're saying in a nutshell.
What I'm saying is that it's a tough topic to unpack. Lonzo talked about, talking to fathers whose girls were on the polls, or girls were deciding that the life that their way to make it or whatever was stripping. That's a tough spot to be as a father, but it also has to be a tough spot to be as the daughter or the woman, and how we nurture that, how we as Black men put a spotlight on that to let our Black women know, hey, we love you.
Yes.
Hey, look, I was talking to my sister, man, and I know for certain, and both my sisters know this, and hopefully they don't get mad at me for saying it. But I know my mama, man, I know my mother did some stuff, man, to put food on our table that she wished she didn't have to do, growing up in Compton. So I would say that's why it's such a sensitive topic to me.
Yes, sir.
I think some people by choice decide that they want to do that, and some people agonize with, this is the last resort of, there's a video on TikTok, and I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's one girl sitting there, and the caption reads, "Waiting my turn. No, my roommate's turn to pay the rent." And in the background is the sounds of lovemaking and a whole bunch of noise, but she's sitting there, suffering through it, saying, "Hey, it's her turn to pay the rent." And next month, that might be me being in the bedroom, and her sitting here saying, "My turn to pay the rent."
Man,
I just think that people do some tough stuff to survive, man, and what they need is grace and mercy, forgiveness, and for us to talk about it in such a way that if they choose to, how do they get out of the type of life that they're in?
That's something.
The movie, one of my favorite movies, Forrest Gump. In the beginning, his mama had to do some things to get him in that school. Okay. Right. But it wasn't on the internet. I was around then, but she didn't go around and tell him. And look here, man.
That's right.
As a human being, ain't nobody perfect. Okay.
That's right.
I'm far from it. Okay. Far from it. But at some point in time, we learned discretion. Okay. And I think that's the word that has been alleviated from the social media platforms, is discretion. Everybody, and most people in life, have to do something they may not be proud of. That's just part of life. You ask me on Monday, hell no. Tuesday, you still need that done? It all depends on how the day rolls, man. And that's just the part. But again, it's like watching that movie Set It Off with Jada Pinkett. Oh man, like you need that money for your brother's school.
Yes.
Okay. That is a perfect example.
Okay, and she had to do what she had to do. She didn't go around, I got paid, I got me some money. She didn't do it for a bundle of hair. Okay,
it was hard. It was hard for her to wash it off, right?
It was hard. She first ran up and then did what she had to do, but it's just, I think nowadays, because the social media allows and other social changes. Me and one of my young friends had a conversation. He likes to go to the slut walk. Okay, well, how do you have the slut walk and the Me Too movement at the same time? And when do you know? How confusing can this be? How confusing can this be if you don't know whether you meet somebody and they're part of the slut walk, or you might end up in the Me Too movement? Okay, and then you can't judge. Well, hold on. She got the breast out, she got the short dress, and she walking in the slut walk. Okay, okay. So if you over here, but you want to play like you over there, if I say something to you, and it's a perfect. I saw a perfect picture just the other day. It had a guy, big old fat gut. Okay, and when he says something to you, it's harassment. The businessman with the tie say the same thing. It's flirting. Okay.
Wow.
So it all depends on who is saying what that interprets what it is. It's not, hey, baby, how you looking good today, darling? Look, having a good day. You're looking very nice. Wrong guy, it's sexual harassment. The right guy, he was just flirting. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. What do you tell your son? How do you keep your son from getting caught up in that trap? Okay. They got a thing in some states that if a woman has been drinking, she legally can't consent to having sex. So that means if she say you raped her after you had a drink, she can say, oh, that thing I gave you last night, it was rape. It wasn't. We was drinking together, and everybody know that a lot of times alcohol or some other substance is involved in that, and we both making decisions. I made a decision to get with you. It might get you pregnant because I was too drunk to go get that condom. Okay, so I'm taking a chance. You taking a chance, but because you had a boyfriend or you came home late, got in trouble, it was something else other than what it was. That ain't cool. That's not.
Yeah.
I want to say that specific scenario you were using, that's harsh punishment. And I say for a man, because where's the line compared to you look nice today, I'd love to take you out for lunch or whatever the case, or the wrong language, hey mama, you look hot, bam, you have something to say. Thin line between love and hate. Gentlemen, we are in overtime for Man in the Mirror. The conversation has been deep, much deeper than I thought it would go. And I do appreciate my guest, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, my guy, Lonzo Williams. I appreciate you tapping in with us today, bro.
Not a problem, not a problem at all. Glad to be
I
here.
love it. I love it. He was definitely a big part of my life.
Hey,
also, go ahead, sir.
Herbert, I'm gonna call Dean and get your number after.
Yeah, he could. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Much love, folks.
All right, much love.
And also, my guy, Herbert Billinger, my co-host, man, I appreciate you as always, man. I do. I promise you I do. I love each and everybody. This cat I'm closing out with, his name is Mosey. He's out of, I wanted to say, he's from the East Coast. Met him a few times. Actually, he's a writer, producer. All night long, Mosey. D Smooth Show, Man in the Mirror, we love you.
I'm having visions of your kisses, girl. That sweet delight. Anticipation got me losing sleep at night.